know them people feel.
What's going on, people? It's your boy City. Welcome back to On My Left and Right Nut. I just left the gym, man. Had to work shoulders today. Feel good. I had a productive day. I was off today. And got a few things done, man. I went and cleaned my car. I also signed up for the Son of God Semen Retention page, which I've been seeing it. I gotta remember I think it's self-revealed if I ain't mistaken. His name's Benjamin, or he go by Ben. But yeah, man, I've been checking out his YouTube channel for a minute, so I finally got to sign up for his Son of God community he got, where his Semen Retention brothers coming together. So yeah, man, it's been a productive day. But man, I wanted to make a video today, and this ain't necessarily a semen retention video. I think semen retention put me on the path of this energy that I'm feeling, but this ain't necessarily semen retention. Also, a kind of risky video, man. I ain't gonna hold you, because I'm gonna get kind of personable, a little personal, you know, with this story that I'm about to tell, man. So here we go, man. So this story is about how my gut is telling me that I have met my wife. It's kind of cringy, I know. But the thing is, I actually had this feeling for at least a good year and a half, 2 years now, that I felt like I met my wife. And it's been a lot of stuff that's been going on the last few days that's in my spirit, just been confirming it more and more and more. So I'm gonna try to get into this story, try to shorten it down as much as I can, man. And I want to go ahead and put this story out because I really feel like in all my heart and soul that I'm not tripping, that this is what my spirit's telling me, man. And when it do come into fruition, I want to say, man, that wasn't nothing but God, because I've been feeling this since the day I met her. So those of y'all that know, like, I'm involved in ministry at my church, right? And I dealt with a lot of stuff, honestly. Like, obviously, we on the whole semen retention channel where I'm talking about breaking my addiction from lust and pornography and all those different things, man. Shout out to my semen retention brothers out there. Y'all keep retaining. But whenever I first got into the whole ministry thing, man, I'm not gonna lie, I talked to my pastor about this, because like whenever I got into ministry, I never seen my ministry actually being in the church. Well, I'm not gonna say I never seen it, but how I seen my ministry was being more so being out in the streets, talking to people, like as I come along with my homeboys and like people I meet throughout my day, and just talking to them about the word of God, you know. That's how I seen my ministry going. But God had other plans, and I still do that, don't get me wrong. But you know, I'm also involved in my church. Well, when I first got my call to start preaching, man, my pastor gave me 2 weeks. He was like, look, man, I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to think about if this really what you want to do, because it's a huge call. This ain't just something that you just like, hey, I'm here today, I'm going tomorrow type thing. It's God in, God out. So, man, like, he gave me 2 weeks to really ponder and think on this, man. And I ain't gonna lie, a week went by, and I already knew for a fact that I was gonna take the call what God want me to do. I mean, I've had this call and this feeling since I was a kid. Like, my first pastor, Pastor Carolyn Owens, man, shout out to her, man. She's very big in my life, especially in my younger years. Ever since I was a kid, I felt like she was staring at my soul, preaching to me, and it didn't hurt. It hurt. Well, I ain't gonna say it hurt, but it didn't make matters better with us having the same birthday, you know. So I already had this connection with her that, you know, we're connected somehow. So as a kid, I always felt her piercing into my soul and whatever. But I always had this feeling I was gonna preach, so it was never any doubt if I was gonna take the call or whatever. It was just, was I ready at that time? Well, man, when it happened, I had reached out to my pastor after a week. After he gave me 2 weeks, a weekend, I was like, look, I know I wanted to preach, but I gotta be honest with you. I struggled with lust, drinking, and women. Lust, drinking, and smoking at the time, And he just started laughing. He was like, if you knew my story, you wouldn't feel so bad about what you're going through right now. So fast forward, yeah, I got into preaching and everything. And stuff got really hard. And if I'm going to be real with y'all, I was still dabbling in the cheeks. I ain't even going to hold y'all. Like, ministry, no ministry. Now, I ain't sitting there glorifying and praising it, but that was part of my process. Like, I was still trying to shake some of this stuff off, and if I'm being real, I'm still shaking a lot of it off. I ain't gonna lie, I've come a long way, and I'm proud of myself. Like, yeah, I still slip up from time to time, but when I tell y'all, if y'all knew, well, I'm gonna get there in a minute. But so yeah, I had all that going on, and so like, it got real, because I'm pretty sure I told y'all in one of my other videos, like, how I reached out to my pastor and told him about my struggles with pornography, and how, like, look, I need to find a way. I can't really just break it alone. Like, I need help. I need help. I need you to help me. Please pray for me. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up giving him passwords to help keep me out of certain sites, and of course I was able to find ways around that. Found ways around the passwords and stuff, and just finding different, like, different devices to be on versus just the one that I had. Well, I ended up having this conversation with him a little bit, like, during this time, because it was the same, I think it was, if I ain't mistaken, the same day that I had told him about this. And I was like, look, I'm still a man. Like, I see people. And I'm not praying, because you don't supposed to be jealous of people that's living in sin or whatever. You see what people got and you want it, but they're not living the right way. And I'm like, man, look, at the time, I'm like 32, 33 years old. And I'm like, look, I see all these people with girlfriends, wives, kids, husbands. Of course, I like women, but you get what I'm saying, the whole family dynamics. And I'm like, man, I'm trying my best. Am I perfect? No, but why I feel like everybody else is getting blessed with that? Like, when's my time coming? I kid you not. This girl from my church, I'm going to tell y'all about this. He called her by her name, and he was like, she's your wife. Now, I'm not going to say her name in this video. I know, she'll know, but he was like, that's your wife. And at the time, like, let me rewind a little bit. So, the night before I met this girl that I'm telling y'all about, this woman I'm telling y'all about, I literally prayed to God, and I was like, God, like, because the thing is, with you being in ministry, this is why I'm even telling y'all about me being in ministry. The thing about you being in ministry, women get scared off by that. A lot of women do anyway. And it's like, they think you're going to be holier than thou or whatever, or they don't want to be involved in that. And I ain't sitting there and saying I'm backsliding or going out my way to just be backsliding, but I ain't holier than thou either. Like, we can have conversations and talk like we talk in relationship talk, you know what I'm saying? And I've grown a lot in that area. I'm actually about to pull over, because I'm about to pull up at Chick-fil-A. But I want to get this conversation done without interruption. This video done without interruption. So I'm going to pull over before I pull over there. But yeah. Women get scared off by that. You know what I'm saying? And I just started getting tired of it. So I'm like, God, I'm trying to do right. I mean, I feel like I'm luke. You know how in the Bible God say you can't be lukewarm. Either you need to be on fire, or you gotta be cold, but you can't be in the middle, or I'll spit you out. That's how I was feeling with my relationships. Like, I'm like, God, I'm trying my best to make my steps and make these strides toward you, but I want my wife. I need somebody that's for me. Like, I like he told Adam, like, well, he said about Adam, like, it's not good for men to be alone. I'm tired of being alone. Like, I'm tired of it. It ain't even just about the cheeks, like I'm talking about companionship, like love type stuff, man. And so like the night before I met this young lady, I say young lady, you know what I'm saying? I literally prayed to God, and I'm like, God, can you bring my wife to my church? Remind y'all, there's only like, I'm gonna say 10 to 20 people max at my church, and most of them are related in some kind of capacity. Either they're related to each other or they're married to each other. And the only other person that, well, it's a group now, but at the time when I first met her, I was the only person that was outside of the family, and she was the other person that was outside of the family. But like the night before she came to my church, I prayed to God. I'm like, God, please bring me my wife. Like, I'm like, I need her to be in church, because that's where I see you aligning me at. I need a woman that's going to be in church. Maybe it might not be the same path as me exactly, but I need a woman that's going to be in church, you know? And so, like, I kid y'all not, the very next day, you remind you, I prayed that prayer on a Saturday. That morning on Sunday, I'm telling you, I was in there sitting in church. Remind y'all, I was sitting in the front row close to the door, because at my church and my ministry, like with my ministry, part of it was me watching the doors, making sure nobody crazy came in doing anything either, you know. So I'm right there. Man, this angel walk in this church, man. This angel walk in the church, bro. I ain't gonna put too much on it, but man, when I being real, like, she walked in the church, bro, and when I tell you, I had this feeling like that is her. That's her. Like, cause the thing is, remind y'all, I prayed this prayer, bro. I don't believe in coincidences at all. That's never been really my thing. Like, look, something happened. There's a reason it's happening. I literally prayed that prayer. The very next day, she showed up, bro. She showed up to the church, and I'm like, it's her, bro. That's your wife. I had this feeling in my gut. Like, I was like, that's her. Now, at the time, like, I questioned, like, is that my wife? But, like, I had this feeling that's her, but I hadn't just said that's her. The more I sat there and I looked there at the church, like, she held her way in such a manner, bro. It was like wisdom was radiating off of her, bro. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. But I was like, see this woman, man, and I'm gonna be real with you. I see this woman. She carries herself like she's wise and beyond her years. But I'm just gonna be real. It's like, this girl look younger than I am. You know what I'm saying? She looks younger than me, bro. And the whole time, like, I'm like, bro, close but no cigar type situation. Because I'm like, I'm not trying to go with no girl younger than me. Like, it's a certain gap that I'm trying to be in. And the gap wasn't gapping, really. It just wasn't, bro. And I was like, man, well, I ain't asked her how old she is yet. You know, like, haven't asked her how old she is for me to just say, maybe she just looks young. I don't know. Mind you, she's of age. So before we get too deep, this girl's definitely of age. But yeah, she just looked young to me, bro. And so I'm like, man, this can't, I'm feeling like that's her, because like I told y'all, I don't believe in coincidences. But I'm also like, nah, this can't be it, right? Now, fast forward back to me having that conversation with my pastor. He was like, yeah, so-and-so's your wife. You know she's your wife. Remind you, I never told my pastor about that day or what I felt about her that time she walked in that church. I never said anything about her to him at all, you know? And just being honest, it was almost like my pastor kind of was like guiding certain steps too, because we had went to the movies to see, like, as a church family, to see the movie The Chosen. And it's a very great series. If y'all ain't got the chance to watch it, I advise y'all to watch it. They just came out with the first episode of season 5. I don't know if it was 2 days ago when it came out. I watched the episode last night. Great episode. Y'all go check it out. Very great series. But we had went to see The Chosen in the movie theaters. And my like, she was walking out to her car, and my pastor told me, he was like, you know, walk her out there and make sure she's okay or whatever. And it was almost like he was just planting certain stuff. And maybe he was just saying, but like I said, I don't believe in coincidences, you know what I'm saying? But He was just like, yeah, make sure she makes it out to her car. Okay, so I walked out there. And at the time, like, I hadn't really thought too much of it, but I was like, man, I'm gonna ask this girl out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask her out. And I don't remember when she told me how old she was. I really don't want to get into that because I just know some people, if they think certain stuff, bro, I don't have time for that. Just know she's an age, and it's something that I feel like, honestly, if it was up to me and my person, as me personally, would I go for the age? No. But I really do feel like this is something divine. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but I really don't. I feel that in my spirit. It's a spirit. She my wife. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm just talking. This might just be a video in the future. Who knows? But, so, like, she told me how old she was. I was like, God, dog. Like, I thought she was at least a little bit older than that. Because I think, you know what? She told me when we was watching the movie. Because I think I asked her when we was there. Because we ended up sitting beside each other. And she told me, I was like, God, dog, bro. Like, no, bro. So, like, I'm like, nah. But, like, this feeling kept tugging at me. Like, ask her out, ask her out, ask her out. And so, I had ended up asking her out to the movies. We ended up going to see the Bob Marley One Love movie. And we ended up going out to eat. And that's another thing. Like, I'm so committed and feel it in my spirit. I still got the movie tickets from like 2 years ago when we went out, like, in my wallet. I ain't gonna lie to you, it got washed. It got washed, so like you can't really see what it is, but you can obviously see 2 movie tickets in here. I'm gonna take these mugs out. I'm gonna have to put it back. You can't really see it too good. There's 2 movie tickets that was in here. And shit, they ain't filled. You can't see nothing in these mugs because they got washed, bro. But that's what it was. It was our movie tickets from when we went to see Bob Marley, that One Love movie. And so, yeah, so that took place, right? Went out there, had a good time. We talked, communicated. Wasn't too in detail talking, too much of that in detail talking. But we, like, as far as, like, too much, we just kind of asked the basic questions. We talked about families, like, what's the plans or whatever. She told me a little bit about her life. I told her a little bit my life, our upbringing, something like that, you know. Well, we end up was texting or whatever, and I got a Galaxy now, but it was an Android phone. She had an iPhone, bro, and she ended up texting me one day, but I didn't get the text message. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I thought she was ghosting me. Like, I just felt like she didn't want to talk. So me not wanting to get her to look thirsty or whatever, I didn't hit her up for like a week or two. Like, I ain't hit her up. And so she happened to be getting baptized. Of course, I didn't want to miss that because, for one, I'm in ministry at my church. That's important because that was a special moment for our church. And also, I wanted to be there to see that moment with her being baptized, And she was getting baptized. And, like, at the thing, like, I really didn't want to bring it up too much, but she did talk to me a little bit there. So I was like, well, since we here, like, did you respond to me or not? And she was like, yeah, I responded. You never said anything back. And she literally showed me the text message that she responded. I just didn't get it. So I ain't gonna lie. She was like, she was like, kind of like whenever she kind of either on the wave of talking to somebody or something feel off, she gonna fall back, bro. So kind of was on that, but we still kind of communicated a little bit. This when it get deep into the meat and potatoes of the story, man. I gotta tell it, but it is what it is, man. I was still living in sin, bro. I'm not gonna hold you, man. And I had this one chick, bro, when I tell you, time of my life. I'm gonna say it, time of my life. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I knew this girl, like, I was like, I'm not gonna be with her. And, like, the girl, she started liking me, you know what I'm saying? She really started liking me. And I could tell that she was starting to like me, but I was like, bro, I don't want to hurt her because I know I'm not gonna be with her. And so we was video chatting, and she could see it in my face. She was like, What's wrong with you? And this happened for like 2 days, bro. Like 2 days, because I didn't want to tell her the first time. And I was just like, nothing, man. I'm like, I'm good. She's like, no, you ain't. Something's wrong with you. Now I was like, nah, I'm good. So like, think by the second day, she had asked me, she like, all right, man, what's really going on? She could tell something was wrong. Bro, it was eating me up because I was with her, and I really was convinced in my spirit that I found my wife. And I was feeling like I was wronging her, even though she wasn't there. Like, she wasn't there in person. She don't know the feelings and emotions that I'm dealing with. Remind you, we kind of really ain't talked, but I was like, my spirit is telling me I'm cheating on my wife. Couldn't be. I ain't no cheater, bro, but that I felt wrong. I felt like I was doing the wrong in spirit, bro. I just did as a collective, bro. And I told the girl, I was like, look, I think I found my wife, and I don't want to hurt you, but this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And she really didn't go in, not at the time, because some girls, they act like they cool with stuff that they ain't, but they cool with it for the time being, you know, until they realize stuff ain't gonna go their way. But she was cool then. She was like, you know, that's a big word, and I ain't even be mad at you. I can't even be mad at you, because if you really feel that way, then there's a reason you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, you know, you need to quit entertaining me and kind of go deal with that. Man, let me tell you, bro, this is the heartbreaking part of it, bro. The very next day, the girl that I told y'all that I believe is my wife text me in the morning. As soon as she texted me, I knew the BS was coming, bro. Because she texted me, she was like, what is God telling you about me? Once I seen that message, I said, man, I done released my favorite Pokemon. I done released my favorite eater. Bro, like, you know what I'm saying? I was devastated because, you know, like I said, I'm still growing out my sin, like my flesh, like, bro, why? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, she asked me, and I told her straight up, because I'm a very straight up person. I don't hide my emotions. I ain't somebody that's trying to be too cool for school. Because if you really for me, you're going to be for me, and I can tell you the truth about what I feel. I told her straight up, like, I think you're my wife. Like, I know it sounds crazy. Whatever I did to break down why I felt that way. I never told her about my pastor telling me about her being my wife. And this is another thing. This is another addition that I'm going to add into this story. Because I know I told y'all about her age. But I remember when I first moved down here. Back home, I used to go in South Carolina. I went to a church called Divine Purpose Outreach Ministry, right? Well, out here, my daddy's church in Temple, Texas, was called Outreach Ministry Divine Purpose. It was the same thing, but just in reverse, right? So that junk in itself, I don't believe in coincidence. And from South Carolina to Texas, for the church names to be the same, I felt like God was like, it's time to rewrite your story. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. That's how I felt. Now, y'all tell me if I'm bugging. Y'all tell me if I'm bugging, man. But anyway, so when we there, it was Valentine's Day, and the pastor was like, anybody single, y'all come up to the front. And it was like 3 people. It was me, his stepdaughter, and this older lady, right? And I think the older lady passed away, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm pretty sure the other person he was talking about was me, because he was giving us like kind of prophecy like stuff. His stepdaughter got not pretty, she got married already. And then he's like, because he was talking about us 3, but he was just prophesying, like, he was like, one of y'all, the person y'all might be with, you might be way older than, or she might be way older than, or y'all the other way around, they might be way older than you, right? So now I know that his stepdaughter's married, and the older lady, I think she passed. He could have only been talking to me. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. That's another thing why I'm so more comfortable with that, because if it was anybody else, and people her age, I ain't even trying to mess with. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, so that's that, right? But I never really told her about what my pastor said at the time. And also, like, I just told her how I felt. And she was like, well, why is God telling you that? But I'm not hearing that. When you talk about heartbroken, because I was just like, trying to be too cool. You done gave up some guaranteed cheeks. This is what I'm talking. This, like, I am just gonna be real. This how I felt at the time, man. At the time, my flesh was like, cause my flesh was doing my spirit in at this time. Like, my spirit done got a little bit of muscle in it now. Like, it ain't as easy to kind of pump. But at the time, I was like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I never really got discouraged, because the thing is, I always had this feeling of there's going to be some kind of growing process between me and her that has to take place. First off, her and her age and her spiritual walk. Me and my age and spiritual walk, but in different ways. Like, I know I'm in ministry, but I also know she's part of the congregation, and I have to lead her the proper way if it's going to go the way that it should, and it be a God divine covenant, you know what I'm saying? Because at the time, and I ain't gonna lie, like, I really do have feelings for her now, but even at the time, like, it wasn't no lustful, like, feeling. Like, of course I think she's attractive, but it really was like on some, I can feel love surrounding her, bro. I'm just gonna be real, bro. And so, like, that's she asked me that, I was just like, man. She was like, but she didn't, this the part, she didn't dismiss it like people really, like, normally dismiss stuff, like they ain't interested in stuff. They'd rather just dismiss it and be like, nah. But she was like, well, she was like, but there's a reason you're hearing that. She was like, but I'm not hearing it. She was like, why is that? The time I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, because we in text messages, like, I didn't know. Like, I said all I felt like I should say. I'm not going to try to convince you to fall in love with me or be with me at the time. I'm like, man, this is how I'm feeling. This is what God placed in my spirit. When the time come, the time will come, you know. And I was just like, I don't know. And so she brought up this story about our pastors, and our pastors tell this story about how they went on a date and didn't talk to each other for a couple of years, and then when they finally did, they end up getting married. She was like, maybe our story's like that. Like, maybe it's a not right now thing. And the thing is, when she said it, it just confirmed it, because I was just like, you know, how I already felt. Like, I felt like it was going to be a process. I just didn't know the process was going to take place that fast. Like, whatever. And so, like, I felt that way, man. And I still feel that way to this day. Kind of miss some parts of the story, which I'm gonna fill in now. But, like, even on our date, like, bro, I'm gonna be real. Like, the day before I hit her up, I was like, look, we gotta talk about something. She was like, wait, it's the age? And I was like, yeah, how you know? She was like, I could just feel it. She said, I'm gonna be real. If it was anywhere outside of church, I would have said no. But she said, since I know you was in church, I know where your heart is. I know where your head's at. Boy, when she said that, I already felt like that was God in and in itself, because I would have had no shot at all had we been out of church. And I definitely believe she would have stood on business then. And so that happened. I'm trying to think of anything else before I get into the nitty gritty of what I'm about to say, because I just got into some heavy stuff. I knew it was something else I wanted to tell y'all before I got in deep in it. But here's some other stuff. Fast forward to now. The longer period that we don't talk. Oh yeah, let me fill y'all in this story. Let me fill y'all this, because this is a key part of the story. She comes home because she ended up getting a scholarship to go do track, right? So she comes home whenever she's not in school. And I tell you, like, it's almost like divine thing. Oh yeah, this is what I had to tell you before I forget. My pastor, he actually said something about the process. She was there. This was before she went off to school. We was all holding hands like we do at the end of church. He was like, this period that you're about to go through is really a process of y'all healing and cleansing y'all selves to be with y'all spouse right now. Don't let nothing get y'all distracted, you know. So remind you, everybody either married or already family at church, so it's very few people he could be talking to at that moment, you know what I'm saying? It was like, It's a process y'all are about to go through or whatever for y'all to be right for each other and ready. God, I pray nothing crazy comes over this. I pray that you rebuke anything evil coming over anybody thinking anything bad. But I had to get that off because I know some people don't wish the best. Like I'm telling this story in good faith. But so yeah, that happened. So she ended up going to school and she comes home for like holidays or whatever and breaks. And one of the last times she was here, she ended up sitting beside me. Well, by coincidence, we ended up sitting beside each other. Cause I sit, with me being a minister, I sit behind the road where my pastor's at by default. And also she ended up having to sit there that week. You know what I'm saying? And so the message my pastor was giving was about your wife, about marriage. It was like something about marriage or whatever. And he was like, look to your partner beside you and ask them, do you still feel the way you did about me? And she looked, and we just looked and repeated, but we started laughing. And then he was like, he said, now say this to the person or whatever. But he said, say this to the person beside you. If you feel that way, where's the ring at? And she just looked at me and started smiling, and we just repeated it. I said all that to say this, bro, because there's a reason I told y'all all that story. I'm getting to the end because this is one of my longer stories, man, and I don't want to just be on here forever. I feel like it's a good story, though. Over the last year and some, I'm very proud of my spiritual growth. Me as a man, me with God, me, my health. There's been a lot of things that's been growing in me, man, that I could actually say I'm proud of. And in the spirit realm, like, I feel like am I perfect? No. But I know I'm taking strides day by day to get closer to God, to bring people closer to God, man. And over this last year, there's been a lot of doors that have been closed. Slam closed. Either they closed them or I closed them. But I've been cutting a lot of people off. People that some exes, some of my, if I'm being real, some of my favorite booty calls. I've been having to block. I've been having to cut them off. They've been cutting me off, whatever. I've been doing the main blocking, though. I ain't gonna lie. They might block me and unblock me, but nah, when I block, I'm blocking you. You gone. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I used to have this thought process of like, man, me and one of my exes gonna get back to work together and it's gonna work out perfectly. I'm telling you, when I tell you every door from my past is now shut, closed, and I don't want to look back, I'm past that point. And the last 2 weeks, especially, my spirit been telling me it's all in preparation for her. There's going to be no reason for me to look back. There's not going to be any potential of nobody coming back. My focus is all on her. I ain't even been trying to date. And to be real, look, my car smashed in the back right now. And I ain't asking nobody out for that. But I really do think that's part of that. Now, that ain't the main reason I ain't. Because I really, like, it's at least like 50-50 at the very least. But at the very most. But like, I really think most of it is because I'm really focusing on her. I ain't been trying to date because I'm like, I feel like I'll be wasting my time and somebody else's time. Because that's how convinced I am about this situation, man. And plus, I ain't gonna, my car smashed, I'm not looking crazy, bro. So, no. But I really actually feel like God caused that to happen because he know I'm too insecure to even try to pull. Look, I ain't about to be looking crazy, bro. So he know, like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sit him down for these next couple months or whatever it may be until they come back together in divine union. But this is the main thing I'm saying, bro. It's gonna be a wild ending, man. A wild story. I think I'm ready to get a ring, bro. Yes, I know. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, and believe me, I'm not just gonna pop out a ring on the girl or whatever and be like, "Oh, would you marry me?" type stuff. That's not how it's gonna play. I'm too player for that, bro. However, that question ringing into my head what my pastor said when we looked at each other and we asked each other, where's the ring at? I feel like I'm not going to be like, hey, let's get married right now. I'm not going to do that. But if that situation ever presents itself again, she asked me that, I just want to be able to tap my pocket and be like, whenever you ready. Whenever you ready, when God time ready, look, I ain't joking. I ain't playing. Like, I'm serious. Like, I've never felt this way about somebody before, bro. And it's crazy because the thing is, my connection feels stronger with her when she's not around right now. Like, it's like, normally whenever I'm away from somebody, I don't care. I get this detachment. But it's like, I'm connected to her more and more. My way, how I feel it. I feel more connected to her more and more each day. And I'm gonna be real, bro. I don't be just praying for nobody. I don't be praying for nobody, bro. Like, I've been praying for her a lot. And my bad, I just got a phone call, so I hope it didn't mess up the video. But I've been praying for her a lot, and not just, selfish thing. When I say praying for her, like, about her peace, about her joy, about her happiness, about her well-being, about her growth, like, that's how she's on my mind. And it's different. Like, I wish I could just be like, whatever, but every day I think about her. And so I don't know where this is gonna lead, man. Like I said, this video might be all for naught, bro. I might just look like a dummy in the end, bro, but I know how I'm feeling and what my spirit is feeling on the inside of me, bro. And that's on my left and right nut, man. If y'all like this video, like, share, subscribe. Till the next time, it's been your boy City. Peace.